everybody, and welcome to this new edition of GM Web3 dedicated to MultiversX. Like every Wednesday morning, I am very happy to co host this show with my friend Arno. Let's welcome him. Arno. Hey, Arno. GM.
Hey, GM.
How are you?
Smiling. Good.
I can see this. Great. I'm very happy. We have so many topics to talk about, and we'll be joined by many columnists as well. But first, let's first thank the partners of this GM Web3 dedicated to MultiversX. So we have Atom and we have eApes. So let's start by Atom. Atom is like lending, borrowing protocol, but also the issuer of USH, the first native stablecoin on MultiversX, and with a few strategies, you can generate some passive incomes. Very interesting. So you can just check their links in the description of the video on YouTube and also on podcast. And today we'll speak about the other project of the team, Soul. It's part of the program. So thank you very much, Atom. And they are offering $15 in their token, the HTM. All you have to do is to retweet and comment the show on Twitter. So let's move to the program of today. So we'll explore the latest developments around MultiversX. So we'll speak about Adam Bates. We'll speak about Benjamin's vision for 2025. We'll speak about xPortal's cross-chain move with Sui. We'll speak about the launch of Soul's public sale, but also we'll be joined normally if he wakes up by Quentin from Autoscale because this platform is finally going live. So yeah, so many topics, GM Web3, unfiltered, uncompromised, here to challenge ideas and give the mic to everyone so you can make your own mind. We'll welcome our first columnist who will be with us the whole show long. Hello, Joachim from Gopal Labs. What's up?
Hello, German Arno. How are you all doing? I know what both of us have been doing this morning.
Both? What do you mean?
We've both been opening Pokemon packs from
the
the
new
new
update of Pokemon TCG. Yeah, definitely open my free boosters. But
I was just like, what are they talking about?
Are you playing, Arno?
Playing what?
Pokemon TCG. You know the mobile game. No, you're not opening boosters.
No.
Okay.
The only booster I'm opening is on Atom.
Okay, easy. Okay, yeah, because I am a collectioner of NFTs and boosters in Pokemon.
That I knew.
But I the same strategy. I buy, I never sell. We don't change. So I will just wait Joe to switch his webcam on before I invite him. But if you want, guys, yeah, first, to the audience, thank you for being here. Feel free. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, repost, and everything what you have to do to support GM Web3. And of course, during the show, feel free to ask your questions, to tell what you think in the comment. And if it's relevant, we'll share it and we'll answer it directly live. And I decide if it's relevant. No, in general, everything is relevant in GM Web3. Okay, so let's start. Okay, Joe, let us know when you can switch your webcam on. It will be easier for those who are watching us. So let's start together with the first topic. Okay, there is no particular order. Okay, I just made the program like this. Let's speak about Adam Bates moves from CMO to advisors. So the question we'll try to answer all together is, what does it mean? I just prepare a small introduction I tried to make it unbiased, so you can so you have the time and all the freedom to tell your opinion. So Adam Bates joined MultiversX with a clear mission: define the story, shape the brand, and take it global, and especially in Korea and Asia. Coming from a strong creative and marketing background, he was expected to bring clarity, emotion, and visibility to a project often seen as highly technical and maybe inward facing. So when he came during the community town hall, he said, "Okay, I will make this inhabited and unknown island known." And after a few events happened, especially we remember the flying first class to Korea, questioning during a Twitter space what is a hero tag, but also publicly reacting to Benjamin's community town hall by saying, "I wouldn't have done that like this." So the question now he leaves as a CMO is what remains from his impact on MultiversX, and after we'll try to figure out what's next in marketing terms for MultiversX. But first, what was your reaction, and where did you expect this departure, and what is, in your opinion, the impact of his position as a CMO of MultiversX? Who wants to start?
Just, I didn't see the news. Did someone communicate about this?
Absolutely. So let's, you're right. I did not introduce it. So Benjamin yesterday on the long post said many things about his vision of marketing in 2025, and especially there were a mention. Let me read, because I had to justify a lot of times on Twitter. Many did not did not notice this news, which is, in my opinion, pretty interesting. So let me read you the exact sentence. So in the post, Adam Bates has brought a fresh storytelling touch to MultiversX that cut through noise and reminded us of how we started and what we stand for, blah blah blah. And after he said that he moved to a role of advisor. Let me read exactly what he said. Sorry. So now it's time to go on the offense, boots on the ground in the US, speed, rapid iteration, local vibe, and context. In this spirit, Adam will transition into an advisory role, offering insights, feedback, and ideas where they can have the highest impact. And after, so I will send you the link so you can take the time to read it, because it will be interesting afterwards to have a discussion about the next steps for the marketing, because Adam Bates was not replaced by another CMO. So the strategy on the post, I will keep reading if you want, guys, so it will be easier for us to discuss about that. So after, in the post, he's saying, so go to market, go to narrative, guerrilla experiments. So he wants to drop bomb every month on the social networks, I think. And we are the narrators and influencers. So listen to this sentence, which is, in my opinion, pretty clear. We are done waiting for someone else to tell our story. We are the story. So we are done waiting for someone else to tell our story. It was the mission of Adam Bates. So when I read this, I read, okay, Adam Bates, bye. We don't need you anymore. It doesn't work with you. I read the rest of the sentence. We are going direct and sharing that story, raw, imperfect, authentic. This is where the new strength lies. And after he says, each and every one of us are the narrators and influencers of the MultiversX story. So, as I understand, is back to what was before. So tweet, and we will all post about MultiversX. So it will be like community driven and co-founders driven, with no like a CMO with a strategy and so on. So that's what I read in these lines. But because you just learn this news, Arno, I will let you brain about this. Joachim, have you seen this news before I tell you this morning?
Yes, I had, because we were
Okay.
discussing it
I
in a
let you
different
because I spoke a lot
group chat.
and I tried to be unbiased, but yeah, sorry sometimes.
Yeah, no,
But I let you the time to tell us first. Maybe if you want to be structured first, what do you think about this announcement? Did you expect, and what's the impact? After we'll keep the
yeah.
next steps. Okay, thank you.
So, did I expect it? Yes, because we haven't heard about from him for quite a while. He hasn't been mentioned.
We
And
launched a
again,
campaign to find him because he was missing
yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah. And at least this time, even if it took a little bit of time, it was announced, even though it was, as you say, dug in a quite a long thread. Um, it had the benefit of being announced because it's not the first time we have something like that. As you remember, Lucien Toria was seen less and less by the community, and in the community, he came back for the podcast. I would say a year later. But yeah, so like um, it's not the first time that there's kind of like silence before departure. Um, but yeah, no, it was expected. And what was the second part of the question? Sorry, you want me to? You
Yeah,
muted.
it was expected. To be honest, I had the information like 2 weeks ago that he was about to leave. But of course, I could not tell publicly. So yes, it was planned for weeks now. And now, yeah, what's his impact? Let's maybe remind everyone that we met him
Yes. So
in London.
I think we probably are like a handful to actually have met him IRL, and like the only I don't think he's been at a conference
At Munich.
uh that
No,
MVX was at.
no, because at Munich he was in Korea
Yeah.
in first class, and but he came in he came in London for
Yeah.
Exities, and you remember we had a very good moment with him. It was very kind, very nice, and very interesting, to be honest.
Yes, I generally think that like he obviously has some strength. If he was the right solution for MVX, it looks like not. But he was, and like there was very interesting debates. He was even part of certain of the panels during the Exits event. So like it was like it was interesting, and it was a breath of fresh air because we didn't have again like someone who was head of marketing or like CMO to represent that view. Because for us, but then we get into that later. For us, until recently, like the marketing was always Beni, if that makes sense, and then you had Robert Sasu who did customer service, and Lucien Toria, Lucien Minku, technical from time to time. But like we didn't have one entity that was responsible for marketing. So yeah,
So what about the impact?
it's
What
hard to say because like
what will you remember from Adam Bates' passage?
so it's hard because like it's I don't want to put blame on anyone because again we don't know what happened in the background, but like for having several discussions with him, I'm not going to go into details of what those discussions were. Um, it felt like there was
So let's speak about data. You know what?
yeah, yeah.
Do you think in 6 months, because he arrived in September, let's say, so October, November, Décembre, Janvier, Février, Mars, Avril, May,
So
eight.
he can't count the months in English, and he needs his fingers to count them. Just
Okay, so 8 months. Do you think
yes.
things has changed, or and it's okay, maybe nothing has changed,
So
but have you seen any change in the
no,
way
so like
of communicating and so on?
so on the receiving side of the marketing, I don't feel like we saw a lot of change. And again, it doesn't feel like it was the right fit if you wanted like for the community, because like it was someone who didn't seem to be like that known to like Web3 and Twitter, etc. There was a lot of the codes and the interactions that were missing. But again, we're not talking about the CMO who's 25 years old. So yeah, maybe like there was again with Korea, etc. There were things happening in the background that could have been something, but from the looks of it and from the pivot in the US, we will never know if that would have been brought to fruition. So I don't want to put the blame only on him or on him. I actually think there is too many unknowns to be able to conclude.
Thank you.
'Cause
Okay, we'll welcome Joe. Hello, Joe. What's up?
How's everyone doing? It's
Very,
been a
very
while.
good. What time is it at your place?
It's a habitable time at the moment. It's 6:18 p.m.
Okay.
So yeah, we've had a time change, moving back an hour.
In the good way. Thank you for joining. I read a thread that you made about MultiversX strength and areas of improvement. I recommend everyone to go and read this thread, which is well structured. In my opinion, balanced. So thank you very much for this content. Before I give you the mic about Adam Bates' arrival and departure and what's remain from this, I will let Arno. I know that you maybe worked with Adam Bates a bit. So I give you the mic.
Yeah. So first of all, before addressing his impact, I'd like to talk about his leaving. Clearly, when Adam Bates is not a rookie, he has proved a lot over his career as a successful creative director, shaper of brands. I've always seen him as a very strategic profile, not the type of person who is, hands-on in the trenches. He is a strategic thinker and very, very experienced. So maybe, and again, when a recruitment of a C-level is like a marriage, so it didn't work most likely on both sides. But as Joachim said, we don't know to what extent. And I don't know if the advisory thing is a way of, letting him go without losing face too much. I don't know. But one thing for sure is that Adam Bates is a very smart guy when it comes down to shaping brand narratives, shaping brands. He's a person who has loads of experience and successes. He's a thinker who thinks differently, and maybe it wasn't the right time and the right fit for him with MultiversX now. So, that's how it turns out to look, at least. We can go into speculation as to what didn't work, etc., but I don't think it will bring too much to the table. As to his impact, there's clearly two sides here: what we expected, what we have. So what we expected, of course, when we saw him arrive, we thought, MultiversX was going to make big moves, building a marketing team, and behind this very senior CMO. and he arrived with big promises. So on that sense, I would say it clearly didn't deliver. On the impact, on the other hand, Beni is a smart politician. He knows how to, tell things without fully casting the blame. But there's always a bit of truth in everything he says, because Benjamin is someone who learns a lot from his mistakes. It's one of his great skills. He's not afraid of looking at fuck-ups and seeing ways to learn from them. And most likely, Bates helped MultiversX understand a thing or two. And there, I'm putting a maybe, but what we've been seeing from the MultiversX employees, they're doing videos more and more, as he said, raw, unfiltered, telling the story in a way they, just putting it out there. Maybe Bates has had impact on this, but today, with his profile and the resources that he had, he couldn't do much more than this, maybe. So maybe his advisory role is bullshit. Maybe his advisory role is not bullshit, and he will remain as a strategic thinker. And I actually believe that this is a more suited role for him. He's been used to work in creative agencies for 30 years, and he was at a very senior creative position always, not in the trenches. So yeah, that's my unfiltered take on this. If I see the glass half full, which is usually what I try to do, it's best to cut a loss. If this didn't work, I'd rather have this outcome, quick, sharp, done. And Benjamin said that they cut 50% and they were going to cut to 75%.
We'll speak about it.
This is clearly the case,
Okay, sorry, I have work done at home, so there's a lot of noise. So Arno, please check the message I read. And Joe, what's your opinion about Adam Bates?
Yeah, so I think all of you have raised valid and balanced points. I guess what I would add to what has already been said is that we often underestimate the amount of work that one has done in the background that may not come to light until later. So if we don't know, then it's as Arnold said, it's not, there is no use trying to speculate. But the point that I'm trying to make is that he has probably done quite a lot of baseline work that can then be followed up and used by whoever the next team or individual is going to be to implement and to move forward with that. But that's possibly something that can't be shared because it's fundamentals that hasn't been implemented yet. So the point that I'm trying to make is that there is a lot of things that has and can possibly be done without making real direct immediate impact that the community can see. And we should not overlook that because he obviously did not come in and do nothing. All right. I'm sure that he has put in a lot of work for the limited amount of time that he was there. Obviously, our wish was that there would be more direct impact that is visible. But we also must understand that, we are not talking about a startup that can just make decisions tomorrow about a whole direction change and a whole narrative change, right? It takes time, it takes efforts, especially when there are so many people in the team, so many decision makers, and also we got to care about the community, and so there is a lot of factors. I would almost add a lot of constraints. So it's not by any means a clean slate that he's working with. So I can see the difficult angle that he's coming from, and I think the important point that I want to make, in addition to what all of you have said, is that give it some time to ferment. And in 3 years we might look back and say, oh well, we can really see the impact because of the base work that Adam has done, and perhaps by then it's shareable that, hey, Adam has done all this. It wasn't shareable at that time, but now because it's been implemented, you can see the impact that it has brought to the ecosystem.
Yeah, I just think like he won't get the credit for it, if that makes sense. Like we might we might have great initiatives in the future or like marketing campaigns that like we'll never know it was him. So as you say,
Yeah.
like let's not speculate. He probably did contribute quite a lot, just not things that we are able to analyze and see.
Definitely.
But we are joined by Davey. How are you, Davey?
Hey guys, sorry for being late. So, what are you talking about?
We're talking about Adam Bates.
Adam Bates.
Yeah.
Like something that I don't know if you talked about it, but if you look at data in the entire business space, so not only crypto, CMOs are among the C-level the figures that last less in companies because it's an extremely hard job, but extremely hard. Also because the expectations are extremely high, and a lot of times from what you can read from articles on the internet, there's this misconception from CEOs to understand what is the role of a CMO and also the responsibilities and the trust that they are willing to give to the CMO. So I don't know, I have this feeling that Adam Bates didn't have the chance to really do what he wanted to do, or at least try to do, because at the end it all goes down to maybe going to the CEO and saying, yeah, I want this room for doing things, and yeah, you still have to adapt to what the CEO agrees on the different strategy.
It's a very fair point that you bring here, Davey. And as Joe said, we will only be able to look at all this once all the dust has settled down. And maybe, someone will come out and tell the story of Adam Bates and how it went down. But there's one thing for sure, and Davey is pointing to a harsh reality. The job of a CMO is super hard because actually in tech startups, CMOs are all about helping the companies to achieve scalability in growth sense. And so often, CMOs are brought in and it's like, okay, let's grow now. You need to grow us. But there's no magic recipes, to grow, you need a combination of tech, product, sales, etc. So many channels and so many verticals to be aligned. And often when those are not aligned, it's the CMO that takes the blame and just is fired. So it's a very complex role.
I would add, in addition to that, as we've said, and we'll probably discuss this further, there was cost reductions up to 50% already and going all the way to 70%. And Bates was hired like in the relative things not so long ago. And I think everyone here would agree that like one of the reasons why we got a CMO was because the community was like, when marketing, why don't we have a dedicated marketing team, etc. We got Adam Bates, and I do, but again, that's speculation. I do feel like there is this reality where there was cost reductions taking place, they hired a high profile type who in the past was with Cardano, who probably has quite a bigger budget than MVX to work with, and probably like wanted to do things that would cost, and basically just getting told, actually no, we can't do that. We're already cutting corners everywhere when it comes to spending, and so the question was like, other than, again, we don't know what happened back in, etc. But like, it does feel a little bit like they hired someone without actually being able to go give him full reign, and it kind of backfires because there's this frustration of like, okay, what has he done? And at the same time, like, we still, the foundation still paid him wages for 8 months, and I feel like there's this, yeah, like, I feel like there could have been better timings to hire a CMO, like for example, like at the launch of X Exchange like 2 years ago. But anyway, the marketing of tomorrow is where I find it interesting, because the idea of there's no one better than yourself to tell a story. Well, I like the sound of it.
So
I don't
just
think,
just Joachim, before
yeah.
before you deep dive into this, let's transition officially to that part. So okay, Adam Bates, kind of, he was the incarnation of a strategy, a more regular, strategy that kind of everybody in the community pushed for. And now with Adam Bates going away, there's Benjamin unveiling this new shift towards a more guerrilla, authentic. Everybody is a KOL. Everybody can tell the story kind of narrative and way to do marketing. So marketing from the trenches, basically, raw, unfiltered. What do you guys think of this new marketing shift? Because it is a marketing shift. Pros and cons. Davey, you're up.
So to be honest, like we've seen this already. I don't know if you remember when he went out with, I don't remember the name. It was probably like Speed Operation, the one with the countdown. Like at the end of the countdown, he went with an article saying, "Okay, now is the time for all the community to come up and saying things, etc., etc." The problem with this is, even if we look at some evidence in the space, so simply looking at the crypto space, who is the Ethereum community, and it's not working because there's too much entropy. There's not enough alignment on the specific goal, the specific narratives, and this creates confusion, creates chaos, creates inefficiency. Because when you don't have a specific strategy, you don't have alignment on the specific goals. What happens is you basically have what Ethereum has now, which is a lot of confusion, and you fail compared to other chains that are way more strategic, way more aligned on the goals, like Solana or Base, which are doing way better. And I don't know. Honestly, I feel that is incomplete. Like it's not enough.
Okay. Joachim.
Yeah. So I'll join what David said. It doesn't feel like something new. It feels like that's like the strategy that has been happening all along, since I would say at least the pivot from Alund, while the rebranding. Um, the and like the issue is like, what does it really mean that, like, I want to take a moment and think about like the saying like, let's tell a story yourself, no one better than yourself can tell the story. It's like, but what story? Like, you need a story to tell, you need someone to guide that story, because the reality, and I also think that is where it's even more challenging as a CMO, for a blockchain protocol than for a consumer facing product, is like, you can't just say like, oh, it's great tech and people will use it. Like, it has never worked like that. You need to solve problems for someone, you need to pitch a different way of doing things. And the like community is really good at doing like peer-to-peer, like getting new users on board, new users to new projects. For example, like I want to believe like Hatom actually brought quite a few new users to MultiversX through word to mouth, because the marketing outside of crypto is, I would say, reduced or close to none compared to a regular Web2 company. But that's where I feel like we need to focus on promoting MultiversX to builders. And for that to happen, you need, it can't just be users who tell the story. And it worked in the past for MultiversX through Maya, but also through price performance. People were curious on this token, why it was performing so well, etc. We don't have this luxury anymore. Like, that is clear. EGLD is not one of the most performing tokens during this market. So we need a different story to tell, and it's too easy to tell. Like, we can all share the story. We know the story because, like, we know the experience. We know what we live through. But like, that isn't a story. You're not going to attract people by saying, "Oh, I'm a OG of EGLD." Like, that's, or what we've been through. Like, you need something exciting, someone to look forward to, or again, exciting products to use. I'll pass it to Joe. Right? Yeah.
Thanks. I think, yeah, both of you have made valid points. One of the things that's obviously I'd like to mention is that it's very much a closed loop. So, there is a certain audience that we reach, right, amongst all of us. But to go further, we need something extra. And whether that's us or whether it's someone outside. So it's, at the moment, it's very, very restricted in terms of what we can read. So we can tell the best stories. And I mean, coherence is another problem, but we can tell stories, and we have been telling stories, whether they're applicable stories or they're just stories that, fit into a bigger picture. You know, at least we have at least been telling the stories all along in the last 3 years of our own journeys and what we think about the ecosystem and why we think it's going to thrive and grow. But to reach the new audience, something needs to change, and that's the biggest problem that I see with this approach, is that we're reaching the same users again, and we need to try and reach outside of this very closed and very segregated ecosystem, siloed ecosystem, if you like. And one of an additional point that I'd like to make is, a wee while ago I did post about a mindset, an idea, which is kind of related to marketing and onboarding. And what I stated was, everyone within the ecosystem knows someone who knows someone, right? And there's 2, 3, 4 degrees of separation. Doesn't really matter, but there should be some structure there and maybe some incentive there for people to go out in a decentralized community way, but to go out individually and reach out to more powerful people that are outside the circle, through their own 9 to 5 connections, friends, family, whatever that connection is, to then try and onboard, whether they're builders, whether they're enterprises, whether they're just normal users or normal local communities, or communities that are not currently in Web3, and leveraging those connections through the community to then bring light to and eyes to MultiversX. And I think that's quite a powerful mindset. But the prerequisite of that is that we need structure, right? We need someone to say, hey, this is the structure. This is I don't want to say it's the pitch book, but at least this is kind of, we're providing this material. If you know someone who knows someone who knows someone who is like a C-suite of a big company or a medium-sized business, and we all know people through that 2nd, 3rd, 4th degree of separation that have influence in in what they do, in their role. And I think we are really under leveraging that, and that is, I guess, part of marketing as well. It's a little bit more than just, hey, download xPortal. I mean, that could be part of it, but we're talking a little bit more weight. But people are not going to go out of their limb to seek for those connections unless, one, there is common coherence in momentum, and two, there is some sort of incentive, right? Because it takes time. So we all invested in a lot of time and a lot of energy, and a lot of people have a lot of money in the ecosystem. But I think this is also an area that is quite underutilized, which I think is relevant to the conversation that we're having at the moment.
Thanks, Joe. What you've said, guys, about how do we align incentives, how do we focus more on builders, all this makes a lot of sense. If I can just bring one tiny bit of perspective in regards to this strategy. First of all, it's only one pillar in the overall marketing strategy. It's not the only trick in the playbook. So as to, okay, the layer one has to attract builders. This is not the only trick in the sleeve, up the sleeve, You've seen extraordinary progress from X Alliance. I mean, a year ago we had nothing. Now we have events in London, events in Istanbul. We have communities of builders, even if they are small, regarding the comparing it to the size, of course, of a Solana, whatever, it is still progress. It is still growth. So this is not just the only trick up the sleeve. Secondly, I disagree with you guys. This has not been done in the past by MultiversX. I mean, sporadically, yes. At scale, every day, every 2 or 3 days, having videos from different people from the team. Benjamin actually sharing more openly what's in his head, but in a way that comes in a very more often than previously before. I mean, just go back a year ago, we had, and we were critical about this, we had cryptic tweets with 1 or 2 sentences. Now we have way more thorough posts that even GRM reads from top to bottom, because they're a bit more, down to earth and actually about what's happening. So no, this is a shift. It's different. We see guys like Danny Serb doing videos. We see guys from the tech team doing videos. We see Andrei Marinka coming on GM Web3 twice. This is, we didn't have that in the past. We only had Robert, who was a complete extraterrestrial being with us in the trenches, but otherwise that was not the case. So that's my second point. It is a different strategy.
So yes, like
let me finish, please. Let me finish, please. The third point, and where I think this strategy has merit. First of all, MultiversX is not Solana. So let's stop thinking that, with the current war chest, to use the numbers, the same words, the current money in the bank, you can pull out a strategy, a branding strategy like Solana that is highly polished, deployed across multiple channels, and clearly costs tens of millions every year. MultiversX can't do this. Also, we are in an AI era where every piece of content is usually AI baked. And I'm sorry, but I'm starting to feel that this is saturating the space, because the barrier to entry to produce content has been lowered significantly. And so, to be honest, you see a lot of shit content because of this put out there. And actually, marketing is about telling something differently. And when everybody is leaning on AI because you can ship more and faster, actually going back to something where you show real faces, super authentic content, even if it's not polished, is a way to stand different, to be different, and to create a bond with people, because you see people, oh, he's in the airport, oh, he's on the train, oh, he's there, oh, he's on the streets of Istanbul. You see his face, he's talking, he's an actual being. It's good, it feels good, So it maybe not be perfect, but first of all, it's something, and let's see if it can trickle down some sort of momentum, because people want to be with people. They don't want to be with AI, text that makes them feel nothing.
I think we're aligned on this, Arno. Like this new type of communication from the team itself is something new, and that was kind of like missed for quite a while, because we used to have
Joachim, I think Jerem wants to move along, so let's move along. But we all said our parts.
The part I think that is worth discussing is just the fact that, like, asking the community, not what they do themselves. I think that's two different topics.
The thing is about sorry, I wasn't able to speak. Normally it's good now, but I will maybe go back to silence very soon. Let's be clear about the community communication. I agree with Arno. Maybe it was not done before, but resources have been put in this regard, and notably on X-Alliance. So they are engaging the community to post, to create content, and so on. And they are putting money. And even with this, it doesn't work. So the question is how this time Beni will make it possible with more money, maybe with I don't know what was spent to pay.
What do you mean it doesn't work, Jerem? What's the metric of it doesn't work?
Look how many people are filling the quests. Always the 10 same people. We know them. They are already in the community. So concretely, we did not attract anyone from outside, except maybe a few Nigerians. But let's be clear, we did not attract anyone with the X-Alien quest and so on. And
the point is maybe not to attract, but to activate. Were those people actively posting content before?
Oh,
maybe
yes,
a bit,
yes.
Not to that scale.
Yes, they did. And you know what? At the time when this content creator was not part of Atom team, we had way more content around MultiversX through food and many more. So yes, I think those who create content through X-Alliance did before. So it's not new, in my opinion. It's good, but it's not new, so it doesn't work. So the point is, will Benjamin make it possible this time, which was not possible, which was not successful, in my opinion, through X-Alliance and Lightspeed campaign. If you guys want to very quickly, because I don't want to have the last word, but if you want to jump, do it now, and after we move to the next topic. Davey, quickly.
The thing that I'd ask to you guys is, on one end, they're basically saying we would like for the community to shape the story of MultiversX, which is, I guess,
the sound is
maybe
not
your sound is very bad. Your connection must be bad.
Yeah.
We know, it's okay. Italy is a third world country. It's okay.
Okay, guys, I'm sorry, Davey, but because of that, we need to move, and it's part of the game. So let's move to the next topic, a very important one. It's a post, a very interesting and important post from Benjamin Minku about 2025 vision for MultiversX. So the goal was there were different parts in the post. So let me summarize a bit. Yeah, Davey. Okay, quickly.
What I ask you is, I see the foundation saying we want the community to shape the story of MultiversX. But on the other hand, we have a community that was shaped directly from in an ecosystem where the foundation.
Okay, sorry, David, the connection is not good, so we'll move on. Okay, sorry. So let me summarize the post of Beni. I mean, it was a few days ago. Okay, so you need to focus. It's a new topic, a new post, a new thread. So the goal of this post is to explain the community that they will cut operational cost by up to 75% without sacrificing delivery. Proving that discipline can drive innovation. On the tech side, he speaks about the next major upgrades like Andromeda, Barnard, and Supernova aim to bring instant or subsequent finality on a fully sharded scalable network, all running on low spec machines. So that's the take and the vision in the technical aspect of MultiversX for the next month. That's also about real world performance, not just testnet hype, as he writes. Economically, we'll speak about it. The protocol is being rethought from the ground up. So better incentives for validators, developers, but also users, smarter fee mechanics, and yes, a real token burn mechanism, likely inspired by EIP 1569 on Ethereum, with a public proposal expected in Q2 and 3. Also, MultiversX is aiming for a strong expansion into the US with the fast cycles, lean team, and clear focus on institutional relationships. So that's the summarize of the post. So first of all, like a vague question, what did you think when you read this post? And after we'll try, to speak about what matters. Not the technical part, because there is nothing new around Supernova, Andromeda. Okay, we spoke about it before, but maybe more about the economical change that are expected in the coming month. Who wants to start?
When you say economical change, you mean the economical proposal, or just like in general with like the budget changes, etc.?
Oh, no. I think I was talking about like business model tokenomics.
Yeah.
But we can speak about spend less. I'm not sure there's a lot to say about this, but if you
exactly
want...
for once.
No, I let you the freedom to speak about what you want. So how did you receive this post first, and after tell us what you think about it in concrete terms. So who wants to jump?
I can start.
Let's go.
I think it was highly sought after and hoped for update. Again, less cryptic and really like going into the nitty gritty. What doesn't worry me at all is the budget cost. That is something that is quite normal as a company who suddenly scales a lot and then has to scale back down. And we know that the MVX team shipped what made them famous in the first place with a low budget. So we're not worried about a company who is spending a fortune on attracting devs, etc., because they actually already have a core team that seems to be extremely loyal and is shipping high quality and fast. Like I know there's delays, etc., but like relatively to the size, I would say that they're shipping fast. So to keep it short, I don't think that is I don't think that's a bad thing, and I don't think it's going to stop them from delivering. Will it reduce other expenditures that maybe were appreciated by the community that we will discover in the coming months? Maybe, but as of now, that's not something I'm too worried about. Go ahead, Joe.
It was me, actually.
Arnold's going next, I think.
Yeah. So as to the let's start. I start with the economic upgrade. because everything that Joachim said, I'm not going to repeat. I agree. It's still, again, something that there's more uncertainties than certainties in this conversation. What's clear is that the model can be tweaked to be more aligned with what the network needs and what it has become. I am very happy that there is this economical upgrade on the table, because it means that the network, when it was thought and crafted with the economic model from back then, 7 years ago, things have changed. And of course, things have changed. So you need to always be able to evolve, especially when your network is not just suited for one use case. Similar to Bitcoin, for example. We could argue, but what Bitcoin has is great, etc., etc. Yes, but we're not Bitcoin. MultiversX is not Bitcoin. So it has to be suited for multiple use cases. So I am reassured that we have people who think about those topics, acknowledge that this can be bettered, and I'm very interested to see what the first paper that they will craft and put to the community, so that we can then think on top of this initial draft. I'm not going to go into but what if this, what if that, because it's a what if conversation and I hate those. But of course, some tremendous good and some tremendous bad can come out of this. Like the EGLD economic upgrade is the most nuclear topic. Nuclear for good, sustainable energy, etc., and nuclear for bad, Hiroshima. So of course, it is a difficult topic. Now, on another topic regarding the what Beni has brought in, what I like with this tweet is that it reflects how Benjamin, as a leader, has changed over the past years, and especially the last months. He's been to the US. It really feels like he starts to be acculturated to the US. He's becoming sharper, less cryptic, more direct. He says fuck every 2 sentences. So he's becoming rude, clearly an American, and so I am happy, and excited to see him evolve into clearly a new form of entrepreneur. It means he learns, it means he grows, and let's not forget that all great adventures, all great adventurers, they're not their finished version from day one. Like, let's also recognize that growing a company is super hard. And when you have never grown a company to the scale and complexity that is MultiversX today, I mean, of course, not everything is perfect, etc., etc. So I'm excited to see him energized, although it's been super tough 3 years and a half for multiple reasons. It looks like he's never been so energetic, which means he's feeding energy from the trenches and optimistic about the future, which is good. I'll pass it on to Joe.
Cool. Yeah, excellent points. Just to add on top, without reiterating, one of the things that I did mention in the post about the cost cutting is that it's generally a very positive thing, but we must also be careful that where we need to spend, it's money still gets spent, right? For example, marketing, which we just talked about, needs to be smart spend, but there needs to be some expenses there to move things forward. So it's not, and I'm sure the team has thought of this, and it's not all about cuts, but it's more about optimizing, squeezing the dollar value for, you know, real value delivery, and also penetrating and ensuring that results are delivered on specific focused initiatives. I think that's what I wanted to add about the whole cost cutting thing, is that often we think about, hey, let's cut this, let's cut that, but we don't then replace it with something a bit more effective and a bit more targeted. And perhaps that would cost a little bit less because it's more effective, more efficient. So there's always two sides to the equation to cost cutting, and I'm sure I hope the team has looked into that and to ensure that it won't impact. In fact, it should accelerate because of the focus. It should accelerate a lot of the weaknesses of MultiversX, and one of them being marketing. In terms of the tokenomics and the economic upgrade, as you've said, it's very early days, so it's all just speculation. I know a lot of people are speculating for the worst. I saw Beni's tweet about something about the burn, which is obviously very bullish. So we're having two extremes to the scale. So we just need to basically wait and just work with concrete information to ensure that we are evaluating what's in front of us. What I might add to that briefly is that anything that is proposed, we will all get a say anyway, and that's the beauty of Web3. MultiversX will do it properly, and we will all vote for or against whatever is proposed or amend, so that at least the majority is happy. So that's something that's quite reassuring in a sense.
A financial majority is happy.
Correct.
That is an important difference between a traditional democracy and the system we have in place on MultiversX, is that we vote with our wallets, literally.
Yes, which is awesome.
Anyone want to jump? Yeah, Davey.
Yeah, something interesting that I read in the thread, and I'm not sure about the idea, was they mentioned some fee markets. So I don't know if that's an admission of wanting to do something more other than the current system that we have, which is web resistance, etc., all these things, and maybe going more into a system like Ethereum or Solana ones. So, like,
The
different economics.
Davey, I'm really sorry, but the connection is not good enough. So please try to do something because it's not comfortable. Yeah, I'm sorry, Davey. So if you guys agree, let's move to the next topic. Thank you very much.
The only thing I said in chat, and I was hoping someone would quickly explain it, is like, what is the Ethereum EIP that is being referenced? Because I think that is an important comparison on why it was done on Ethereum.
Thank you.
So I'll go it very quickly. Basically, the issuance of Ethereum is based of ETH on Ethereum is based on the use of the network. And basically, depending if it's more or less used, there is tokens that are being burned during the fees, or tokens that are being emitted to incentivize validators. And one of the reasons why this is an interesting model, especially when they moved from proof of work to proof of stake, is that you need a way to ensure that validators are always, or most likely always, incentivized to run validator nodes and get rewarded for it. And the problem is that a lot of projects, a lot of L1s launched many years ago, there was very few examples in the past on like what are correct tokenomics. So we kind of all were trying to do our best. And the reality is that the blockchain adoption that we all were hoping for didn't come yet. And because of that, a lot of the issuance fees, a lot of the inflation, the yearly issuance of tokens is now slowing down and not following the adoption. Meaning that because there isn't enough transactions on the chains and there isn't enough fees being generated, it becomes less and less lucrative to run validator nodes. And that is where we are faced with this reality today, where we need to have a chat and discuss in like, how can we incentivize not only validators, but builders and to interact with the chain with a new and rethought of economic model like Ethereum proposed with the EIP, which was voted for and is running as of today. There's a few websites, by the way, that you can look where you can see how much is being emitted each day, etc., based on demand. So yeah, it's quite an interesting first front, and we often talk about how slow Ethereum is, but on that one, they actually, I think, were ahead of many other L1s.
Thank you for this presentation, Joachim. So let's move to the next topic. And for this, we'll receive Quentin from Autoscale. Let's see how we can be all of us in the same. Yes. Hello, Quentin.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good, but the connection is not very good.
No.
The
Is
webcam.
my voice which
No, the voice is okay, so it will be
Okay.
enough to continue. But
You know what, GRM? Yeah, Quentin looks like the Mert of MultiversX.
yes, I agree. I definitely.
Maybe I don't know how Mer looks like.
If you become
But
as powerful mindshare wise, and if Autoscale becomes the equivalent of his company, you're golden, bro.
the Mer of MultiversX, yeah. Let's do this.
So, Quentin, I'm very happy to have you today because I like you, but also because we've been talking about Autoscale for years now.
Mm-hmm.
You started this project with your friend Robin years ago. It was 2-3 years, maybe 10. I don't remember. And actually, you decided to pause the project a bit, and after you found a new CEO, new team members, and you started to work again on the product. And yesterday, you announced that it was live now. So I received many messages asking what is Autoscale, first of all. Second, can you tell us about the story of this platform? So yeah, tell us a bit about Autoscale, and if we have question, we'll of course ask you just after.
Yeah, sure. So what is Autoscale? It's a protocol that aims to provide yields to users. We find the yields on other protocol, currently Atom, and our ultimate goal is to make it super easy. Like even your grandma can just deposit funds and have yields. We will take care of everything, compounding, depositing in other protocols, managing the positions, etc. We take care of everything, and we aim to target Web2 users at the end. And for the journey, it's been a while. We started building this protocol like 2 years and a half. Yes, 2 years and a half, and we faced like so many difficulties. First, we aim to build on top of Maya Exchange, so it's really been a while. And with the new Locknex tokenomic, we had to redo everything. Afterwards, we plan to do on Ashwap. Then Atom came, and we had to integrate Atom. It's already we already had to another time do everything, redo everything. And then Robin, the CEO, stepped down from all the crypto industry. So we had to find another team for Autoscale, which we found in December, like November or December. And we finally deployed yesterday on mainnet Autoscale after so many times. So we are really proud.
Congratulations. Honestly,
Thank you.
this is a journey of resiliency like we've rarely seen on MultiversX. It's really I've been it's been you know, especially since you've started working to integrate Atom. I've been happy to be in the groups and see you guys working you know, your ass off every single day, exchanging with our tech team, etc., multiple calls. I mean, yeah, congratulations, guys.
Thank you so much.
Really humbling.
It's been really a long journey. That's why we are so proud to finally launch.
You can be proud of yourself.
Thank you.
So can you tell us about the new organization of Autoscale? So you are now the CTO. You are also with our friend Philippe. There is also the CEO. Can you explain, how do you work as a team, and what's the next step for the platform? Because now it's the first version, it's live. Maybe you have a first metrics to share. I don't know.
For the team, I was CTO before in the previous team, and now the team is. Before the team was more focused on the tech, and now it's like 50-50 business and vision and tech. And for some metrics, we already have. I don't check this morning, but it's like we have almost 15,000 of TVL with more than 7% of APY on USDC and almost 6% of BTC, which is really good. I don't think other blockchains have the same yields. I don't have much at the moment, metrics, because we just launched less than 24 hours ago. So we will collect them in the following weeks.
Okay, and for Atom users, for example, what's the point for them to use Autoscale? It's a question I received.
You know, when you want to use Atom, you have to understand a lot of things. You have to understand what is lending, what is borrowing in general. You have to understand what is borrowing and lending and borrowing in a decentralized way, which is even more complicated. You have to understand what is the booster of Atom, how much you have to deposit HTM. You have to monitor your positions in this booster. You have to claim the rewards. You have to compound the rewards by swapping them. You have a lot of things to understand and to do. And at Autoscale, we do everything for you in just one click. This is the why of Autoscale. We do everything for you.
I'm actually super happy to see Autoscale come live, because this is the harsh reality. You know, we think, because we've been in Web3 for years, that lending protocols like Atom, like Aave, others, you know, decentralized exchanges, like, to us they are beings, you know, that products that we see every day, but just show this to a normie.
Yeah. And you can have the best UX designer you want. It's impossible to make those concepts simple.
Yes.
For normies, just impossible. So at Autoscale, we just chose to abstract them. We don't talk about the lending. We don't talk about borrowing. We just talk about your deposits, you have the yields.
So you talked about your target audience, and you talked clearly about Web2, which
Yep, totally.
personally excites me a lot. Like you guys, I'm really looking forward to how you're going to bring a playbook, a go-to-market strategy. So do you already have a few things to share in this regards?
Yeah. At the moment, we launched. On with our Web3 community. So in the short term, we'll focus on the Web3 feedback, etc. But in the mid and long term, we will add lots of functionalities to help Web2 to onboard Web2 people. It will be wallet abstraction. It will be clean dashboard similar to what's your bank account. What they are. Some on-ramp situation, off-ramp, etc. Everything that will feel Autoscale like a Web2 site and not a Web3. And with the time will go, the more the time goes, the less you will see Web3 concepts on the Autoscale websites. Yes, and we plan so many things. I'm so excited to show the idea we have. And yes, and you may have seen some posts on me, and so you might know that my vision of the blockchain is that the blockchain is a fantastic infrastructure, but no one has to know, and no one really cares about blockchain. It's just a fantastic tool, but we don't want products except here on decentralized finance. But we don't really want product to say, hey, we are on blockchain. No, what we want are the use cases, not the fact that we are built on blockchain, on AI. At the end, no one cares. What we want is good products that can be used by anyone.
Amen. Joe, do you have, I don't know, Joe, Joachim, do you guys have a question for Quentin in regards of Autoscale? I don't know, it can be their journey, perspectives.
No,
I just wanted to say congrats. Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. No, congrats, and I think what you guys are doing is great, and I synergize a lot with what you said about not talking about the tech, but actually delivering the value. And that's also something that we adhere to every time we think of something, we want to build something. It's not about the tech, it's about the users, it's about what they get out of it, and they don't want to jump through 20 hoops to do one operation. It needs to be easy, and that's why banks work, because they do it for you. Now, how can we kind of embed that into DeFi, into Web3, into AI, so that things can be so seamless that anybody, even our own grandmothers and mom and dads that don't have no knowledge, can actually feel secure and also do it themselves. So in that respect, just want to say a massive congrats, and I'm sure that you guys will do very well, and I'm looking forward to also trying myself.
Thank you so much. And yes, this is exactly what we aim for.
Yeah, basically what Joe said, so I won't repeat myself.
All right. You said you were excited about the future, Quentin.
Yeah.
Can you give us, I don't know, 1 or 2 free pointers that make you excited about Autoscale for the coming months?
In the incoming months, it's maybe the ATS token. We are building a lot around it, and every integration we will do, maybe some cross-chain integration, because we want to have the yields from everywhere we can. It could be on Atom, it could be on any protocol on any chain, because since we target Web2 user, we don't have to say, hey, we are on this blockchain. We just go where the yields are. We are super excited about some solutions such as Axelar. I'm super excited about wallet abstraction, where we will allow users to finally log in with Google. For example, Google on any email address, which is like any Web2 sites, and which should be this is a standard in Web2, and it should be a standard in Web3, because people are not used to just another wallet. So what I'm really excited is to have Web2 users using Autoscale and giving us feedback.
All right, Jerem, do you have questions for Quentin?
Even if I has, even if I,
it's way better than Davey, so we can hear you. You know.
I really because of the noise. So I will. No, but
It's
I
fine. We hear nothing. But your
really.
voice. Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay, so I was silenced for nothing.
We didn't want to tell you we were enjoying this for like as long as we could, but Arno had to sell it.
I love you guys. Okay, so you're not listening to the noise. Okay, you know what? This is thanks to this. You offered me great mic. Okay, so do have I any more question for Quentin? No, actually no, because to be completely honest, I am not a DeFi guy. I'm not a potential user. So to be completely honest, I think it's cool. But yeah, you Arno asked about the go-to-market strategy, how to grow. Of course, I could ask about cross-chain ambitions and so on. So if you have anything to say about this, feel free to do it. But because the protocol just launched, I think maybe we should wait a few more weeks to know about this. But
Sure.
I'll let the final word, Quentin.
Yeah. If you want to try Autoscale, let's go on our website.
I have a question. It will be the same but differently asked. Hatem has cross-chain ambition. Hatem is the main partner of Autoscale. So what will how it will happen when Hatem will be cross-chain? Will you be cross-chain too? Okay, that's my question.
Yeah, sure. If there are good yields and good strategies to do with Atom on other chains, we will go cross chains and we will follow Atom. We will just find the best yields. So yes, if there are opportunities, we will go. And the same with Soul protocol. If Soul allows us to have good yields and safe yields, because we don't want to have our users liquidated, of course, sure, we will go.
I have another question. You're not married to Hatem. You're partners, so you're not exclusive. So do you plan to integrate X2X no DeFi protocol when it will be launched? I received question about this also.
We talked internally about this, and the same. If there are opportunities, we will do.
Okay, so you're agnostic, we can say.
Totally agnostic.
It's good. It's good. I think it's good. No matter what we think about people, I think it's good for decentralization. No, I cannot not say what I think, but let's be clear. For Autoscale, I think it's a good thing.
Okay, and for the users too. For the users, having multiple protocols, not only Xnox, no, it could be used from almost anywhere, even from tokenized institutional yields, LWA, etc. It's more than just having yields from lending and borrowing protocols. We can add yield from tokenized real estate, from gaming protocols. We can yield technically from anywhere, and it's good for users to just diversify the yields among different industries. Yes,
sounds good. Sounds very good. Okay, you will come back to tell us more about it. So good luck for the launch.
Thank you so much.
First days and weeks. Keep building. I know sometimes it can be hard. You proved it, but you're still here. Yeah. Last question. What about WASM, Swift, and so all these things, I don't get a clue, but I think it's important for the ecosystem. Is it still ongoing?
It's still ongoing. You can check everything on GitHub. It's totally public, so you can see the progresses in live on
I
my
won't
GitHub.
because I don't understand, but people can
People
do
that
it
want to,
definitely.
they can.
Feel free to share the link if people from the audience wants to know more about what you build backstage. It's not something that is clear to me, as you know, but I'm sure many people wants to know more about this. So thank you very much, Quentin, for coming.
Thank you.
We'll let you with this sunny day. Enjoy, and we'll
Enjoy
move to
too.
the next topic. Thank you very much, Quentin.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, so before we move to the next topic, let's thank our second sponsor of GM Web3, long-term partner. It's eApes, one of the biggest and oldest NFT project on MultiversX. They are launching a new collection on Solana to explore a new ecosystem, and it's coming. I can tell you, it's coming very soon. I'll try to receive Mercy in GM Web3 in the coming weeks. Maybe not in the morning, maybe in the end of day, because he lives in Canada. But it will be interesting to have his vision about eApes, MultiversX, and cross-chain ambitions. And for today, thanks to eApes to offer $15 in their token. So eApes token to one of you who retweet and comment the post on Twitter. Yes, thank you again, eApes. So let's move to the next topic. It will be about xPortal. As you can see today, we have many topics, but it's not my fault that so many things are happening on MultiversX and associated. So xPortal is going all in on Sui ecosystem with different things, integration of a Sui blockchain, of course, issuance of a Sui credit or debit card. I think it's debit card, referral, cashback, also a space dedicated to Sui in xPortal, but also in real life conference dedicated or at least oriented to Sui ecosystem. We can see on social networks they are targeting the Sui ecosystem. So yes, the question is, first of all, what do you think about the choice of this blockchain? Do you know? Are you have you ever built or tried this blockchain before? And after, we'll speak about the potential impact or non-impact on MultiversX and on EGLD, because this is what the community keep asking. It's good for Sui, it's maybe good for xPortal, but is it good for MultiversX and EGLD? So as always, Joachim wants to start. Let's go, brother.
Hey, not my fault. I'm eager. Um, sorry, I've got a bit of a cold, so my voice isn't great today. But so as you said, like I think the part where you said like a dedicated part to Sui needs a bit more context. During the onboarding, if you download xPortal for the first time, you get offered three options. The neutral one, which is a gray xPortal that still has EGLD as base currency, but isn't themed to MultiversX. The MultiversX, which was the one we've known and been using for the last few years, and then a new one, being Sui, which completely changes. It's like a theme, you know, like we can have on Google Chrome or etc. And it completely changes it. Like the default blockchain showed on the hub is Sui. The main currency shown is Sui. The staking obviously is Sui, etc. For example, the on-chain XP that we have on MultiversX is not visible there. So the app uses the same very good UX that we all know, but completely focused on a different chain. And I think that is one of the main concerns that was raised by the community, and I think it's a fair concern. Is like this is very unique way of doing a wallet. It's a very interesting way, and I think it's a good move from xPortal as like the wallet creator to be able to make any community feel at home inside that app. But when it comes to the question of MultiversX, and I would love to get your other's input, it does put MultiversX in the back, because if a user is a Sui user and picks the Sui community, he will, as far as we've seen, I've tried changing communities to see how it works. There is no EGLD or MultiversX exposure. As I said, the claim XP, which does transactions on chain, isn't there. So like there, I don't see any transactions or any buying benefit pressure to MultiversX through that. Again, it's a great idea from a private company that is xPortal for their solution, but xPortal being financed by the MultiversX Foundation, is that the right move to onboard people and get people to discover MultiversX? That is the thing I would love to debate.
You want to go, Joe?
Sure. Yeah, I think what Joachim said there is very valid, and that's where all the concern stems from. And I think in the end of the day, if I was to pinpoint the actual issue, is that there is very little clarity on the official relationship between MultiversX and the separate entities, right? What kind of relationship is it? Is not really publicly defined, and therefore we can't then derive how that impacts the eGold ecosystem and the token price and everything. So I think all the worry stems from the lack of clarity and the information, limited amount of information that we get from the separation of entity exercise and strategy. So just wanted to point that out, but I think it is a valid concern. I think that xPortal as a business made a really smart decision to actually do that, because it's one is something very different, and two, it does cater and make the other ecosystems happy, because they are right at home, they discover it, and perhaps this is an onboarding strategy to then expand into getting this to discover other ecosystems such as eGold, slowly introducing them to the gamification that isn't on the Sui blockchain, or perhaps they're going to build the gamification on the Sui blockchain, then maybe it's a totally segregated exercise. So we don't know what the plan is there. There is no clarity, but it is a very smart move if we're just talking about the xPortal business. But in terms of the eGold ecosystem and how that directly or indirectly affects and grows our ecosystem is a bit of a question mark.
I have a go at it. So to answer a few of the questions that Joe asked, so the MultiversX Labs, which is the commercial entity behind the MultiversX Foundation, think of it as a mother company. They own xPortal, 100% equity. They own xMoney, same. So, but xPortal is clearly now a company that has been given clearancy to become its own entity, which it's an entity that has a separate CEO, an entity that has a separate CPO, etc., etc. It's growing. They're growing their team. They have business models. They're making money. And as far as I don't know how much money they are making and if they are sustainable, I do believe that very shortly they will have definitely their own means, meaning that it's been public.
We need to mention that they planned and they announced the launch of their native token.
So they are currently in the process of raising funds. So this fundraise will directly benefit MultiversX, because basically MultiversX is sharing the opportunity that xPortal represents with investors, sharing the risk also. So we can imagine that they're going to let go of some equity. Most likely there's going to be a deal where those investors also invest in upcoming xPortal token. But so what's interesting here is that MultiversX has taken a different approach years ago, building several key products themselves. And right now, for two of them, namely xPortal and xMoney, they're in the process of fundraising. And so it means that it's going to bring resources to MultiversX. Those fundraising are going, this money is going to go back to MultiversX. So that's the first point. The second point, as to the MultiversX community wondering how this grows, MultiversX, guys, I know it's hard because we're all in a lot of pain because of our wallets. But if you think about building a company, about building the space that we all, I personally care about the space and the technology, and I want blockchain to grow. I invite everybody to not behave like vampires, because we will never grow by wishing xPortal to drain users from Sui network. It just makes no sense, So if every time you see something good happening for others, the only thing that you think is, how can I suck blood to grow myself? We're never going to grow this space. So I want you to, I would rather invite people to think about another perspective. xPortal cross-chain expansion is not new. They've already expanded on multiple chains.
Yeah, but there it's pretty much.
Yeah, but I'm going to raise the question. Why is Sui, because there's Barrett chain, there's many other interesting, chains that have good TVL, etc. Why is Sui getting this special treatment? And why is there a link between Sui and MultiversX products? Because Sui clearly knows that those two products are tied to MultiversX. Why do they accept binding themselves in a formal partnership in which there's a wallet, there's a card, and they're with the Sui account announcing this? And this, in my opinion, this shows that there's clearly a bond between those two entities, MultiversX and Sui. Of course, we know Greg, the CEO of xMoney, is a former part of Sui member. I don't board. I don't remember what was his role exactly, but he was a director of something. So he's got the contacts. But there's questions that's an interesting one. And as to xPortal, it is a company that has to grow, and they are a purely crypto user company, so they have to grow and get users where they can. And so doing it on Sui and being accepted to deliver this is a great it shows that we had something very valuable on MultiversX, and now they're able to deliver it elsewhere.
The question, can you hear the noise, or it's okay? Tell me.
It's okay.
A little bit.
Actually, when you start speaking, we hear a wee bit, but then your mic, you have a smart mic. We made you a good gift.
Thank you very much. So just before I let Davey jump in, or maybe someone else, I don't know. The question that are raised by the community is, but I agree with pretty much everything that you said, Arno, before. But the concerns are about, okay, we had some advantages through X Money, through xPortal. We had a card, we had EME, so electronic money issuer. We had a very, very good wallet. So it was supposed, this products was supposed to attract people. Now we are giving, we are selling. We don't know exactly what is the deal. I hope
Nobody is giving anything.
Definitely, but we're selling. We're sharing. Let's say that we are sharing these benefits with another ecosystem. And how will it benefit for MultiversX? The blockchain. Okay, the blockchain's role is to sell blocks. Okay, because there is no transaction in the SWI part, and the EGLD. Okay, the token that allowed the foundation to buy X Money, to develop xPortal. So that's the concerns I wish I had your opinion about.
I can answer very straightforwardly to this.
We let
yeah, sorry.
No problem. Let's go.
xPortal is imagine it as a cake. If the cake grows, the cake has, is bigger and therefore makes more revenue. But the good thing is the cake is not just servicing SUI, it's servicing MultiversX too. So if xPortal becomes the best wallet in the world because it's growing and it's capable of attracting users and being used, then it becomes better for everybody.
No. It will benefit the commercial company, okay? But how will it benefit to the blockchain, MultiversX, and the EGLD? You're not answering. So
Okay. So when xPortal is getting an investment round, who does the money get? Who gets the money?
The commercial company.
The MultiversX Foundation.
No.
The MultiversX Labs.
It's a new token, so it will not be related. It will be about the commercial company. Why would the foundation?
Who owns xPortal?
Now, the commercial company.
Well, that's the thing that we don't know. Most likely it is owned in main part by MultiversX Labs, which again is also a for-profit. And then there's the foundation, which is a side part, which also does investment.
So it's not about EGLD, it's not about foundation, it's not about MultiversX blockchain. But maybe
guys, the Minkus brothers, it's the work of their life is to grow the MultiversX network.
It's okay. We're not working for them. We're working to develop MultiversX, the blockchain, and the EGLD token. Sorry to be harsh, but this is the way.
You're not harsh. You're asking the right questions, and I'm answering with xPortal is owned by MultiversX. If xPortal grows and sells part of its equity, MultiversX is going, as the labs, is going to get money.
The labs will use this money maybe to invest in the blockchain and the token. That's what you say?
Not in the token. I'm
trying to help you.
You're not helping me. You're trying to put words and making me say something I don't want to say. No, I'm not going to say that magically, it's going to pump EGLD and whatever.
No. It's not about. It's not about.
You know what? It's not xPortal's business to grow MultiversX.
Okay,
so it's MultiversX Foundation business to grow MultiversX.
So just to summarize,
that's where we disagree.
The mic, and when I say I'm trying to help you, it's because I'm trying to make the link between the MultiversX company, okay, the profitable one, and the blockchain, the ecosystem, and the EGLD. So that I was trying to find the link. But anyway, so
the link is easy: more money, more firepower.
Okay, so the money that will be raised through xPortal could be used to invest in MultiversX ecosystem. That's what you say.
Of course.
No, it's not that obvious.
Sorry. You think Minku is going to buy a yacht and exit?
What the community is asking is xPortal was developed by EGLD. Okay, but now you say that xPortal is not there to develop EGLD ecosystem. So that I think pretty much.
I'm saying that xPortal has one mission, is to build the best wallet in the world. If they do this, it will have ripple effects. It will better our experience as xPortal users on MultiversX, and it will, yeah, of course it will benefit. But
okay. Thank you. We will give the mic to the others. Sorry, guys, but we'll come back after. So, who wants to jump first?
I
Yeah,
think
Davy, let's
Davey
go.
has been waiting for
I hope the mic is okay.
go on, Italia.
It was pretty.
Okay. If not, I'll
Let's go,
go quite.
Joaquim.
I'll go quickly. Yeah. And I'll be quick.
No, take your time.
Like,
We were not quick, so take your time. No problem.
I appreciate Arno's optimism and way of seeing things, and I hope he's right. But the reality is, like, if you think about the effort of coding the app just to work with Sui in the way it does compared to other chains, etc., we're talking about months of work, right? Like, this isn't like a 1 weekend patch that's let's just integrate Sui. This has for the last few months, their focus has been integrating another chain, and they made the decision to integrate it in a very native way, in the sense to make it adapt to the network. And again, as xPortal, as a private entity, it is a very good move and a very differentiator move from what we've seen in the past. But again, and that's where I joined GM, is like xPortal, which used to be my wallet, has been funded through the foundation, has been funded through the funds raised by MultiversX as a whole, and is now becoming a separate product. Well, has become a separate product. I don't like. Yes, the pie might get bigger, but it's not because the pie gets bigger in this case that actually the pieces grow. It's just that we're adding new pieces of different cakes to make the pie grow bigger. And in the way it was designed for Sui, which again I think is brilliant from an xPortal point of view, it segregates. It focuses on what you already know and love and gives you that experience. There is no exposure to MultiversX. Yes, if you go on the hub and you pick on the networks, etc., you can see MultiversX, as you can see Berachain, etc. So the pie is growing, but I am waiting to see for if that the piece of MultiversX grows, because again, why does the funds that we're going to raise, if they're used only by the xPortal team, not be used to integrate other chains in
But there's
the
two
same
things.
way
There's the
to,
funds
as you say,
raised.
become the
There's
best
the
wallet in
funds
the world?
raised by xPortal, and the funds, they go to the owners. So there's most likely going to be part of the raise, of course, a big chunk of it that is going to go to grow xPortal, but there is part of the raise that is going to go to MultiversX, because you buy the equity
Well,
from someone.
that's not a certitude.
It will be turnover for MultiversX Labs, because it will not be about the raise, in my opinion.
Yes.
But what is interesting, let's before I give the mic to Davy, and I hope it will work, let's mention that in the Sui part on xPortal, the referral will be in Sui. The cashback with the Sui card will be in Sui. There is no play, no gamification in this part. So even the daily streak, that makes transactions on MultiversX community, it's not present in the Sui part of the wallet. So that's why we can ask what will be the impact on MultiversX with transactions and GLD with I don't know, buying or even selling pressure. Let's give the mic to Davey. It's not better. Okay, Joe, what's your take on this?
Look, my opinion still stays the same as per what I said before, is that there is still, I mean, just the notion of us debating about this is that there is obviously quite a lack of clarity around this, and then I mean, I don't know where the information should come from, and whether there should be an official announcement to do with this, but obviously the guessing is due to us not knowing the full picture, right? And whether that's disclosable or not, we don't know. But all we know is from that information, we can then derive with a lot more certainty that there's going to be an X amount of benefits to the MultiversX ecosystem or not. But as they keep telling and saying about the separation and the separation of entity, it gives the impression that the funds and everything is segregated and there is limited exposure and benefit to MultiversX and eGold. That's my personal take, and that's probably a lot of what a lot of people are taking away from that. And you can't blame them because this is how it's being worded. Whether it's true or not, we don't know. And hopefully it's a lot better than we think, but we don't want to go into speculation again. So we can only work with the information that we have. So hopefully we'll get a lot more clarity on officially from the team on how everything's structured and why it was done this way and how it will actually benefit the ecosystem and network. That's my take.
It's true, and in this regards, for the moment, we don't have a clear answer. When we asked the question to the core team, they were saying that the more people will use xPortal, the more they will be in touch with MultiversX and EGLD. So because they see the apps, they see the EGLD token, they see the ecosystem and so on. So what makes me a little bearish about that is this SWI part, isolated, we can say. So this is a change I had not planned. And so that's why I keep asking, how will they, these new users will get to EGLD ecosystem, because EGLD, the token, is one among hundreds. So that's the question. Before I give you the mic, Arno, I must mention that I invited someone from xPortal today, but unfortunately they could not come because of token 2049. They are there in Dubai, so that's why they could not come, but they will in the coming weeks. So yeah, Arno.
Yeah, I think that we still have bits of the puzzle that we don't know. What's interesting is this synergy between xPortal and xMoney. We knew it worked because we had it on MultiversX. Now we see this this bundle of solutions working together to deliver this value to another ecosystem. And so you see this SUI didn't have that, and you have just this integration, boom, and instantly you have wallet, on ramp, off ramp, credit card, debit card, sorry, etc., etc., etc. And
this is great. The white label, the
yes,
all-in-one. This is great for many blockchains today and tomorrow.
Yes.
This is completely great.
And so, to your point, to your question, how do we tie this back to EGLD, etc.? If I'm a SUI ecosystem user and I only use SUI apps and I have the xPortal wallet, I don't want to have my rewards in EGLD or in any other token. I mean, that's
True.
Why would we create a half-baked product?
But we are not SUI users. We are MultiversX and EGLD.
I know. So what if the solution is way more elegant, and there is a way to tie this productized experience back to EGLD and the usage of the MultiversX technologies? And I believe that we don't have all the pieces to understand right now how it will be tied back, but one thing for sure, it will be tied back. And if
how do you know? Because it's a sincere question. They will launch their own token, so there will be a competition between the utility of the xPortal token, like let's call it XPT, and the EGLD token. You cannot, in my opinion, you cannot give utilities in one product, especially a wallet, to two tokens. It's too complicated. So there will be a competition between both. And about the MultiversX blockchain. So you need to make transactions on the blockchain, but it will be a sovereign chain, maybe xPortal. So it will be at the end settled in the MultiversX. So it will be very, very indirect, but could be this. I let you maybe.
It was what I was going to say. The missing piece, and I don't want I don't like to say maybe it will.
No. Sorry to interrupt last time. Sorry, my bad. But it's important for the audience. They said native token in the announcement of this new xPortal token. So when they say the native token, this term native is a reference to a blockchain or a chain. So that's why we can assume there will be a sovereign chain.
It can also be a reference to a new token standard that are omni-chain token standard. So you do have tokens that are native on multiple ecosystems, especially
I would bet on sovereign chain, but
I would also bet on sovereign chain, especially for X money.
What's the connection with the X money? I don't understand.
So exactly.
The settlement part.
The what? Can you, because I didn't listen.
The settlement.
So what? X money will provide payment services, but it will be on chain.
No, I'm gonna give you an example. So JP Morgan has something called Onyx, which is a settlement layer, which is on the blockchain, which allows for transactions between the different banks. Because usually, when you do transactions between banks, basically you sum up at the end of the day how much each own what, and you do one big transfer. What Onyx aims is to actually improve that way of communication by actually timestamping and making it immutable. So it improves the banking experience for actors. And you could imagine X Money being able to do the same, but on a more consumer-facing solution. And because by the end of the day, the blockchain is a ledger, and banking is the one thing where you need ledgers. So it makes sense, but I don't want to get overly excited about this because I think that's a possibility. But obviously, you have GDPR, you have there's a lot of things that can come in the way of that, and it's like a technological feat, but it still needs to bring back value to be worth the investment it is to deploy. So I'm not going to say that X1 is going to be a sovereign chain, etc. This is pure speculation. I want to believe so, but I feel like this is what Arno is saying. Is I feel like if this is the case, if he's right, I feel like this is the kind of reassuring communication they would have already. Don't worry, we're not forgetting MultiversX. We actually have great plans that are going to tie all this together and make MultiversX be at the core of this. That's the messaging I'm missing, and I think a lot of the community is missing to reassure them on that part.
Davey, do you want to try speaking?
His
Guys, I don't know. Does it work? You can hear me?
Yeah, but I can.
So I'm resigning from this.
Speak, Davey.
Okay, it works. And talking about xPortal, guys, it's clear, to me at least, we need more information about. They said that they wanted to cut costs. They get some companies that were not profitable, and so they were xPortal, xMoney, and xEchange. So they decided to cut costs to make those independent. And once they are independent, what is the best way for them to keep running, to raise money? The way for them to raise money is to make business decisions that make sense. And so for xPortal and xMoney is going multi-chain, because otherwise it's extremely harder to grow and also extremely harder to raise money.
So it makes sense for xPortal as a business decision to go with Sui. Like we've seen a lot of new users coming to xPortal. Even if they tried with anything relevant on MultiversX without going towards Sui with multi-chain, they wouldn't have had that much more users by staying on MultiversX. So by going multi-chain, they basically did the best business decision for xPortal. Then is it positive for MultiversX? Not directly, but since it's owned by MultiversX, it means firstly that they don't have the same expenses that they had before, because it wasn't profitable and it's still not profitable. So it's a net expense for the foundation. And the second thing is we don't know the exact informations, but it's owned from the foundation. And so if it becomes profitable, the profit goes directly to this entity, and this entity will hopefully and in theory invest into the ecosystem. So it's not about is this a good decision for MultiversX, but were there a better decision? And honestly, by looking at things, I don't think so. So I think that this is probably among the best decisions that they could make. The error that a lot of users do, and they do this on multiple projects on MultiversX, and they also do this on xPortal, is other than criticizing the decision, it's also looking at the different chances that there are, the different decisions that could be made, and then analyzing and seeing what was the best decision. And like I challenge anyone to come to me and say, okay, they could have done this other thing. But honestly, by looking at the results that they're getting now, it seems that it was a good decision. And that's it.
Okay.
And that's, I think, something we all agree on here. As xPortal, as a team, as a private entity, it was a genius move, and I think we can only congratulate them on that.
Thank you very much, guys, for your opinions about xPortal. Definitely, we need more information, but yeah, I think concerns are interesting to rise and to discuss, and I'm sure the team cannot not know what the community is thinking about that. And let's shoot out the marketing team of xPortal, which is, in my opinion, very, very, very cool in terms of content creation, fun, graphics, and so on. So yeah, I did it on Twitter, and I am doing it again right now. Congrats to Emmanuel and it's
Georgina.
Yeah, there's a woman and
Georgina, the women.
Yeah,
she's
so
doing great. Yeah,
definitely.
I'm trying to remember the name of the last guy, but I don't have it on hand. Sorry for the last guy. You all doing a great job.
You all. So let's move to the last topic of today. Soul public sale, which was announced yesterday. So it will be through X Launchpad, but not only. It will be also through their website. We received Ahmed last week to speak about the launch of the testnet for a Soul protocol. And he will be back in 2 weeks on May 15th for a full interview, and it will be the day before the public sale. So don't wait for this interview, of course, to do your research, but it will be interesting to have him here to ask all the questions that we have. So maybe Arno or Davey, because you're part of a Soul team, can you maybe introduce and tell us about this public sale, which is quite innovative on MultiversX, and maybe not only. Who wants to jump on this?
In what sense you say it's innovative?
Well, it's pretty much fair launch, 25% for the community. You rise what you can rise. There's no cap. So I think you know why is it it's innovative. No,
you mean in the business, in the way we do things. I mean, you could have gone multiple ways, because, for example, Soul is not a protocol that is directly launched on the MultiversX blockchain, so it could also has been seen as
Okay. No, because Pell network was not
but Pell is integrated to MultiversX.
But yeah, okay, it's interesting. Let's talk about the public sale mechanism first, so everyone understand, because there were many questions about that, so how it will work and so on. And after, if you want to speak about other innovative parts, feel free to do it. And I will welcome back Davy. I hope the mic is okay. So Arnaud, maybe to start, because you know, Davy.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jerem. I let Davy because, to be very fair, we have a large team, and I am not the one who has been like pushing 100% on Soul. So if it would have been good to invite Robert, for example, because he's the guy who's been running everything. So right now I don't want to.
Okay. Unfortunately, okay, Joe. Goodbye. Thank you very much for coming. I know he's writing. I need to go. I need to go. I need to go. So thank you very much. You're free to go. And see
Thanks,
you
guys.
soon.
Thanks for having me.
Bye bye. So Davy, let's try to give you the mic about the public sale of Soul. Can you try to speak?
So let's try. Can you hear
It
me?
works.
I don't know for how long, to be honest.
I'm trying to bring Robert on.
Great.
Okay.
So let's see if he can come.
Davy, do you want to start?
Yeah. So we I am only working at Soul for. I've been working only for 2 months now, but what I can say is, I don't know, it feels refreshing to have a product that is simply something totally new. So we could say is 0 to 1 DeFi innovation. It's something that has a great team behind, because it's the same team, the same founders of Atom. And also something interesting, and I hope that the community understood that, is there are extremely fair terms from the community. So we've seen a lot of projects that are promising but have an extremely high valuation. We've seen low float, high FTV projects, and we saw they decided to focus more on having some high float and market-based FTV. So basically, based on the amount of capital that will be allocated in the public sale, there will be evaluation. So it will be decided completely by the community. And we've seen these coming over and over recently, because they started to create projects with insane valuations, but they've seen that it wasn't great for the community, because there was no upside, there wasn't no chance to basically invest in the project and build with it and earn from the growth of the project. And so it's refreshing to see a project that is both innovative, is both bringing something totally new, that has great cash flow potential, great adoption potential, that has a lot of utility for the token, because we'll have a fee switch since launch. There will be gauges, so incentives will be decided directly by the community. There will be governance. All of this plus token design and public sale that is completely community driven. So it only takes anyone interested to go over all the details that there are and see how fair and great these terms are for the community.
Yeah, I made a post about it, trying to summarize the different mechanisms. Thank you, Davy, for taking the time to explain a bit. Joachim, did you go, or are you still here?
I'm still standing, well, seated actually.
Okay, just
but I'm
want
still here.
to know if you had any question or anything to.
No, I think it's a very interesting mechanism. But it's quite funny because like it's the actual opposite of what existed until now. Because I think one of the things that made the strength at first of X Launchpad was the scarcity, right? You will have to lock quite a lot of money to get all the tickets, as many tickets as possible, and hoping that some of them would be transformed in purchasing the actual token. While here we're going the other way, right? That like you will going to need to balance the. You will have to see how many people already have invested, and based on it decide if you think it is a fair price or not. So it's a very interesting mechanism that we haven't seen very often, and I'm curious to see how MVX investors will react to it. But maybe that is the move forward.
Yeah, I think it's at the same time it's a risk and also an opportunity. So if you're really interested in the project and it's on the investor to decide, it makes sense to invest because you are going to invest at the valuation that you think is fair, and you have so lot of upside potential. This is if you are optimistic on the project and if you like it.
Yeah,
The
we are not.
dynamic before the dynamic before that I didn't
Yeah.
like was that there was this exclusive exclusive access to this launchpad based on the stake HLD and the lottery, and so it was incentivizing these dynamics of investing in a project in the launchpad without really caring about the project, and then hoping to sell soon after the launchpad for profit. So not really in line with project interest and investing long term for the project, despite this being in the terms of the launchpad.
I 100% agree with you. So just to clarify, are you saying that like your EGLD stake and your energy, etc., will have no impact in how much you are capable of investing?
Yeah, exactly.
So you see, like again, we kind of like going full circle back to xPortal, but basically, what it shows is that, and I still think it's a good thing, but like now there is no more need to stake a GLD or to be active, an active investor of X Exchange, to be able to participate. So as you say, like this exclusivity, is removed, which I think for the project and for people who believe in the project is a very good thing, because as you say, like a lot of investors during previous launchpads didn't do any, I won't say due diligence, or like were interested in the project for what it offered, but more for the upside potential of a quick flip. So I love the change of script, and that's like, I think that is healthy. What I think might happen, but that is just speculation, is that the first launch will have the bad habits of past launchpads, and have too many people eagerly buying in the hopes of making a quick profit, and therefore creating quite a lot of sell pressure on day one. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. But I think with the proper education, this is actually, as you say, a much healthier model.
Thank you very much. So I think no, not I think. I heard there will be an AMA this week. It's not public, so I will not say with whom and when, but it will be this week. So you can ask all the question you have about this public sale. We're not here to tell you to invest or to not invest. Of course, it's a disclaimer, but we will always say it. The role here is to introduce this new X Launchpad, like we did with all the ones before. Feel free to read the post on Soul X account, but also X Launchpad did a long post, and listen to the AMA. And do your own research, and feel free to invest or to not. But to precise the thing, the public sale will be on Soul website and on X Launchpad, so it will be different than the previous X Launchpad sales. I think we gave Joachim.
Yeah, just to add on it, like we had actually maybe not X Launchpad, but there's been a few. For example, Be Hero Network had a few launchpads where they were one of many launchpads because it was a cross-chain token, they were with another launchpad on the X. So if I'm not wrong, and Arno, David, correct me, but because again, Soul Protocol is a layer zero cross-chain logic, it's the raises will attract people from other chains, and the website, the Soul website, is aimed as people from other ecosystems than MultiversX. But if I'm wrong, David, please correct me.
No, it's correct. Like the launchpad will be a co-launchpad was called. So it will be both on X Launchpad and also on the website of Soul. It will be in stables, which is another decision, which is, in my opinion, a great one. But yeah, it's a bet. Like we're betting on people to understand the potential of the project because it's clear, I'd say. And also looking at the different strategy that is being done by Soul. So it's not positioned as a MultiversX project. It positions as a chain agnostic project, and is the reason why, for example, the marketing is targeting no MultiversX users, and also the reason why we are going to accept funds to come from multiple chains and not only MultiversX, and also the reason why we are raising in USDC and not in EGLD or any other token.
It's interesting because there is many concerns on the community about the selling pressure on the GLD, and every time we have a new X launchpad or a new big sale, the project sells the GLD that they raised, which is pretty normal. Okay, they will not pay bills and salaries with the GLD, but now you decided to make this fundraise, this public sale in stable coins, so it will not directly create a selling pressure on EGLD. So I think it will be well welcomed by the community. But yeah, we'll see how things will go through this. I think we managed to speak about all the topics I had on the program in a bit more than 2 hours. I'm pretty proud of ourselves. Thank you very much, Joachim. Thank you very much, Davey. Fortunately, you managed to make your mic work by the end of the show.
Italy, banana internet.
Thank you very much. And see you not next Wednesday. I'll be off, so it will be the week after, and it will not be on Wednesday but on Thursday. But of course, stay tuned for more information. And take care of yourselves. Thank you very much, and don't forget to subscribe to our networks. Bye bye.
Take care, everyone.
Bye guys.